An unexpected visitor. The vast expanse of space stretched out before Captain Sarah Chen as she gazed through the viewport of the International Space Station horizon. After 6 months orbiting Earth, she had grown accustomed to the breathtaking views, but today something felt different. A faint shimmer caught her eye, barely perceptible against the backdrop of stars. "Hey, Dr. Rees," Sarah called out to her crewmate. "Are you seeing this?" Dr. Elijah Rees, the station's lead scientist, floated over to join her. His eyes widened as he spotted the anomaly. "That's unusual. It's not behaving like any known celestial body." As they watched, the shimmer grew more pronounced, taking on a distinct shape. It was sleek and angular, clearly artificial in nature. Sarah's heart raced as the realization hit her. They were witnessing humanity's first contact with an alien spacecraft. "We need to alert Mission Control," Sarah said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Before they could act, a brilliant flash of light engulfed the station. When it faded, Sarah found herself face to face with a being that defied her wildest imagination. Standing before her was a tall, slender figure with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors with each movement. Its large, almond-shaped eyes regarded her with unmistakable curiosity. Sarah's training kicked in, overriding her shock. She raised her hands in a universal gesture of peace. "Welcome," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of Earth." The alien tilted its head, studying her intently. Then, to Sarah's amazement, it began to speak, not in any recognizable language, but directly into her mind. "Greetings, Captain Sarah Chen of Earth. I am Zara, emissary of the Galactic Confederation. We have long awaited this moment." As Zara's thoughts resonated in her mind, Sarah felt a mix of wonder and trepidation. The implications of this encounter were staggering. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe. Over the next few hours, Sarah and Dr. Rees engaged in a crash course in interstellar diplomacy. They learned that the Galactic Confederation was a loose alliance of spacefaring civilizations, dedicated to peaceful exploration and the advancement of knowledge. Earth, it seemed, had been under observation for centuries, waiting for the right moment to make contact. "Your species has shown remarkable resilience and ingenuity," Zara explained. "We believe you are ready to join the galactic community." As they conversed, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at the stark contrasts between them. Where Zara was tall and graceful, humans must have seemed stocky and awkward. Yet there was a warmth in the alien's manner that put her at ease. "But why now?" Dr. Rees asked, his scientific curiosity piqued. "What's changed?" Zara's expression grew somber, or at least Sarah interpreted it as such. "The galaxy is facing a crisis, one that threatens all sentient life. We need allies, and humanity's unique perspective may be the key to our survival." Before Sarah could inquire further, alarms blared throughout the station. Red warning lights flashed, bathing the module in an eerie glow. "Captain," it was the voice of Lieutenant Rodriguez, the station's engineer. "We've got multiple systems failing. Life support is critical." Sarah's training took over. "Zara, I'm sorry, but we have an emergency. Our lives are in danger." To her surprise, Zara nodded in understanding. "Allow me to assist. My technology can stabilize your systems temporarily." With a wave of Zara's hand, a shimmering field of energy enveloped the station. The alarms fell silent, and the status displays returned to normal. "Thank you," Sarah breathed, relief washing over her. "You saved our lives." Zara's reply was tinged with sadness. "It is but a temporary solution. The crisis I spoke of, it affects not just distant worlds, but your own solar system as well. Earth is in grave danger, though your scientists have yet to detect it." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. What kind of danger? "A cosmic anomaly. Unlike anything we've encountered before, it consumes energy on a massive scale, leaving dead worlds in its wake. We call it the void." Dr. Rees interjected, his voice tight with concern. "How long do we have?" "At its current rate of expansion, the void will reach Earth in approximately 1 of your years," Zara replied. "But there is hope. The Confederation believes that humanity's unique approach to problem-solving may offer a solution that has eluded us." Zara's mind reeled at the implications. In the span of a few hours, she had gone from orbiting a seemingly ordinary Earth to facing an existential threat to all of humanity. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on her shoulders. "We need to inform our leaders," she said, her resolve strengthening. "They need to know what we're up against." Zara nodded in agreement. "I will accompany you to Earth. My presence should help convince your authorities of the gravity of the situation." As they prepared for the journey back to Earth, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of a much larger adventure. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, but no one had imagined it would come with such high stakes. The trip back to Earth was a blur of activity. Zara and Dr. Rees worked tirelessly to compile their observations and experiences into a coherent report. Zara, for their part, seemed content to observe, occasionally offering insights into the workings of their advanced technology. As they approached Earth's atmosphere, Zara gazed out at the blue marble below. It looked so peaceful, so unaware of the cosmic threat looming on the horizon. She silently vowed to do everything in her power to protect her home. The spacecraft touched down at a secure military facility, where a delegation of world leaders and top scientists awaited them. The sight of Zara emerging from the craft sent a ripple of astonishment through the assembled crowd. What followed was a whirlwind of debriefings, negotiations, and heated debates. Some officials were skeptical of Zara's warnings, while others saw their arrival as an unprecedented opportunity for technological advancement. Through it all, Zara found herself acting as a bridge between humanity and their alien visitor. Her experiences aboard the space station had given her a unique perspective, and she was determined to make the most of this chance to unite her species in the face of a common threat. As the discussions stretched into the night, Zara noticed Zara growing increasingly agitated. "We don't have much time," the alien emissary warned. "The void grows stronger with each passing moment. We must act now if we hope to save not just Earth, but countless other worlds as well." The urgency in Zara's voice finally seemed to break through the bureaucratic inertia. World leaders began to mobilize their resources, setting aside long-standing rivalries in the face of this existential threat. Zara found herself at the center of a newly formed task force charged with developing a strategy to combat the void. As she looked around the room at the assembled team of brilliant scientists, engineers, and strategists, she felt a glimmer of hope. "All right, people," she addressed the group, her voice filled with determination. "We've got 1 year to save the Earth. Let's make it count." As the team began to brainstorm ideas, drawing on Zara's knowledge of advanced alien technologies and humanity's own innovative spirit, Zara couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. In the face of unimaginable danger, humanity was rising to the challenge. The road ahead would be difficult, fraught with obstacles and setbacks. But as she watched humans and their alien ally working side by side, Zara knew that they had a fighting chance. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now rested in their hands. Cultural clash and cosmic camaraderie. The gleaming spires of New Geneva rose against the backdrop of the Swiss Alps, a testament to humanity's resilience in the face of impending cosmic doom. It had been 3 months since Zara's arrival, and the world had changed dramatically. The newly christened Void Defense Initiative, VDI headquarters bustled with activity, a melting pot of Earth's brightest minds and a handful of alien advisors. Captain Sarah Chen, now Director of Xenocultural Relations, strode through the corridors, her mind racing with the day's agenda. The fusion of human and alien technology had progressed at a breakneck pace, but cultural integration proved to be a far more delicate dance. As she entered the main laboratory, Sarah was greeted by a cacophony of sounds and a dizzying array of holographic displays. Dr. Elijah Rees waved her over, his excitement palpable. "Sarah, you've got to see this," he exclaimed, gesturing to a pulsating orb of energy suspended in a containment field. "We've managed to replicate the Confederation's quantum entanglement technology. This could revolutionize our communication systems." Sarah smiled, sharing in his enthusiasm. "That's incredible, Eli. But remember, we need to focus on defensive applications. The void isn't going to wait for us to finish our science fair projects." A melodic chime interrupted their conversation, the telepathic equivalent of clearing one's throat. Zora approached, that iridescent skin shimmering with barely contained urgency. Director Chen, Dr. Rees, Zora greeted them, their thoughts tinged with concern. "I fear we may have a situation developing in the residential sector." Sarah's brow furrowed. "What kind of situation?" "A cultural misunderstanding, I'm afraid. It seems one of our Arcturian engineers has inadvertently proposed marriage to the entire janitorial staff." Despite the gravity of their overall mission, Sarah couldn't suppress a chuckle. These were the kinds of absurd scenarios that no first contact protocol could have prepared them for. "All right, I'm on it," she sighed, shooting Eli an amused glance. "Try not to blow up the lab while I'm gone." As Sarah made her way to the residential sector, she marveled at how quickly humans had adapted to the presence of extraterrestrial beings in their midst. Sure, there had been initial panic and conspiracy theories, but faced with the reality of the void, most of humanity had rallied together with remarkable unity. The scene that greeted her in the residential common area was both comical and endearing. A flustered Arcturian, a being that resembled nothing so much as a sentient crystal formation, was surrounded by a mix of confused and flattered janitorial staff members. Floating above them was a holographic display of what appeared to be a complex molecular structure. "Zixix," Sarah addressed the Arcturian, having practiced for weeks to pronounce the name correctly. "Perhaps you could explain what's happened here." The crystalline being chimed apologetically, its facets flashing in distress. "Director Chen, I was merely attempting to express my admiration for the efficiency and thoroughness of your cleaning protocols. On my world, the exchange of complex organic compounds is the highest form of respect. I had no idea it would be interpreted as pair bonding." Sarah took a deep breath, reminding herself that these kinds of misunderstandings were inevitable, and ultimately, a small price to pay for the technological leaps they were making. "All right, everyone," she addressed the group. "Let's consider this a learning opportunity. Zixix, while we appreciate the gesture, perhaps in the future you could simply say thank you to express gratitude. And to our janitorial staff, congratulations, you've just participated in a unique form of interstellar diplomacy." As the group dispersed, crisis averted, Sarah's comm device chirped. It was a priority message from the astrophysics department. Her heart raced as she read the contents. They had new data on the void's approach, and it wasn't good news. Rushing back to the main laboratory, Sarah found the atmosphere had shifted dramatically. Gone was the excited buzz of scientific discovery, replaced by a tense silence as researchers huddled around a central holographic display. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of astrophysics, looked up as Sarah entered. The worry lines on her face told Sarah everything she needed to know before a word was spoken. "Director Chen," Yuki began, her voice steady despite the clear concern in her eyes. "We've detected an anomaly in the void's expansion rate. It's accelerating. At the current trajectory, we've got less than 6 months before it reaches our solar system." The news hit Sarah like a physical blow. 6 months. Half the time they'd originally estimated. She looked around the room, seeing the fear and uncertainty reflected in the faces of both humans and aliens alike. But among the worry, she also saw determination. These were the best and brightest, drawn from across the galaxy. If anyone could find a solution, it was this team. "All right," Sarah said, her voice ringing out clear and strong. "We've just had our deadline cut in half, but I've seen what this team is capable of. We've made more scientific progress in 3 months than humanity had in the previous decade. Now it's time to kick it into overdrive. She turned to Zara, who had been silently observing the proceedings. We're going to need more help. Call in every favor the Confederation owes us. I want the finest minds from every corner of the galaxy here within the week. Zara nodded, their telepathic response filled with grim resolve. It shall be done. But Director Chen, there's something you should know. There are factions within the Confederation who believe Earth is a lost cause. They're pushing for a containment strategy to sacrifice your solar system to buy time for the rest of the galaxy. A hush fell over the room as the implications of Zara's words sank in. Sarah felt a surge of anger, quickly followed by steely determination. Well then, she said, her voice low and intense, I guess we'll just have to prove them wrong. Humanity didn't come this far, didn't reach the stars, just to roll over and die. We're going to solve this, not just for Earth, but for every world threatened by the void. She looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each team member. From this moment on, we're on war footing. I want ideas, no matter how crazy they might seem. We've got the combined knowledge of a dozen alien races at our disposal. It's time to remind the galaxy why humanity has survived every catastrophe thrown our way. As if on cue, Dr. Reeves stepped forward, a glimmer of excitement breaking through his concerned expression. Actually, Sarah, I might have something. It's a long shot, but what if we could weaponize the quantum entanglement technology? Turn the void's energy against itself. Sarah felt a spark of hope ignite in her chest. That's exactly the kind of thinking we need. Ellie, you have full resources at your disposal. Make it happen. As the room erupted into a flurry of activity, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The road ahead was daunting, the odds stacked against them. But looking at the diverse group of humans and aliens working side by side, she knew they had a fighting chance. The void was coming, faster than they had anticipated, but humanity, with their new alien allies, was ready to face the challenge head-on. The next 6 months would determine not just the fate of Earth, but potentially the entire galaxy. And Sarah Chen, once a simple space station captain, now found herself at the center of the greatest struggle in cosmic history. As she rolled up her sleeves and prepared to dive into the work ahead, one thought echoed in her mind. Humanity, indeed, fuck yeah. The Galactic Gambit. The skies above New Geneva crackled with energy as the latest test of Project Luminous Aegis lit up the night. Streams of quantum-entangled particles danced in mesmerizing patterns, a dazzling display of humanity's desperate ingenuity. From her vantage point atop the VDI tower, Sarah Chen watched with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Impressive, came Zara's telepathic voice beside her. Your species continues to surprise me. Sarah nodded, her eyes still fixed on the light show. Let's just hope it's enough. We're running out of time. As if to underscore her point, a holographic countdown materialized before them. 73 days, 14 hours until the void's estimated arrival. The past few months had been a whirlwind of breakthroughs and setbacks. Earth had become a bustling hub of interstellar cooperation, with alien scientists and engineers from across the Confederation flocking to lend their expertise. The cultural exchanges alone were mind-boggling. Sarah had attended everything from Arcturian crystal harmonizing rituals to Zeta Reticulan probability festivals. But for every step forward, the void seemed to advance too. Its hunger for energy was insatiable, leaving a trail of dead stars and lifeless planets in its wake. Director Chen, her comm unit chirped. You're needed in the war room. Priority Alpha. Sarah's heart raced as she and Zara made their way to the secure bunker deep beneath the VDI complex. The war room was a marvel of human-alien hybrid technology, its walls lined with holographic displays showing real-time data from across the galaxy. As they entered, Sarah was struck by the tense atmosphere. Dr. Elijah Reeves paced nervously, while Dr. Yuki Tanaka furiously manipulated a complex 3D star map. What's the situation? Sarah demanded, slipping into her role as Earth's de facto defender. Admiral Helena Wolfe, the grizzled veteran overseeing Earth's combined military forces, stepped forward. "We've detected a void tendril advancing faster than predicted. It's already consumed the Proxima Centauri system." A collective gasp went through the room. Proxima Centauri, Earth's closest stellar neighbor, and home to humanity's first extrasolar colony. "Casualties?" Sarah asked, dreading the answer. "Total evacuation was achieved," Admiral Wolfe replied, a hint of pride in her voice. "The colonists are en route to Earth now, but we lost all infrastructure and terraforming progress." Sarah allowed herself a moment of relief for the saved lives, but the implications were staggering. The void was at their doorstep. "What about Project Luminous Aegis?" she asked, turning to Dr. Reeves. Eddie's face was a mask of frustration. "The quantum shield is stable, but its range is limited. We can protect Earth, maybe the moon, but anything beyond that." "We need something bigger," Yuki interjected, her fingers dancing over holographic controls. "I've been running simulations, and I think we need to weaponize a black hole." The room fell silent as the audacity of the idea sank in. "Explain," Sarah said, her mind racing with possibilities. Yuki's eyes gleamed with the fervor of scientific breakthrough. "The void feeds on energy, right? So we give it more than it can handle. We use the quantum entanglement tech to link a supermassive black hole to the heart of the void. The gravitational forces should tear it apart from the inside." "That's insane," Eli breathed, but Sarah could see the wheels turning in his head. "Brilliantly insane." Zora's telepathic voice resonated with a mix of awe and concern. "Such a plan would require energy on a scale never before harnessed by any known civilization. The risks are incalculable." "And if we do nothing, the void consumes everything," Sarah countered. She turned to Admiral Wolfe. "Can we do this?" The Admiral's face was grim but determined. "With the combined resources of Earth and the Confederation, it's possible, but we'd be betting everything on one desperate gamble." Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of not just humanity, but countless alien civilizations on her shoulders. This was it, the moment that would define her species for eons to come. "Then let's go all in," she declared. "Operation Cosmic Slingshot is now our top priority. I want every available resource redirected to this project." As the room erupted into a flurry of activity, Sarah felt a strange calm settle over her. They were about to attempt the impossible, to harness the most destructive force in the universe as a weapon against an even greater threat. The next few weeks were a blur of frenetic activity. The skies above Earth became a constant light show as ships from across the galaxy arrived, bearing exotic materials and technologies beyond human comprehension. Sarah found herself at the center of a logistical maelstrom, coordinating efforts between dozens of alien species and Earth's own fractious nations. There were setbacks, cultural misunderstandings that nearly sparked interstellar incidents, technological incompatibilities that threatened to derail the entire project. But through it all, Sarah was continually amazed by the spirit of cooperation that had taken hold. Ancient alien rivals set aside millennia of hostility to work together. Earth's nations, once on the brink of war, now united in common purpose. As the deadline loomed ever closer, Sarah stood in the newly constructed Cosmic Slingshot Control Center. Before her, a massive view screen showed the fruit of their labors, an array of quantum-linked satellites encircling a distant supermassive black hole, pulsing with barely contained energy. "All systems a go," Eli reported, his voice tight with tension. "Targeting coordinates locked on the void's central mass." Sarah nodded, her throat dry. This was it, humanity's last stand, their desperate bid to save not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. "Initiate the sequence," she ordered. As the countdown began, Sarah felt a gentle touch on her arm. She turned to see Zara, the alien's eyes shimmering with an emotion she couldn't quite place. Whatever happens, Zara's thoughts echoed in her mind. Know that your species has earned its place among the stars. You have shown courage and ingenuity beyond anything we could have imagined." Sarah smiled, a sudden surge of pride welling up within her. "We're just getting started," she replied. The view screen erupted in a blaze of light as the cosmic slingshot fired. A beam of pure, concentrated gravitational energy lanced across the cosmos, striking the heart of the void. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like a dam bursting, the void began to collapse in on itself. The hungry darkness that had threatened to devour the galaxy was being torn apart by forces beyond comprehension. Cheers erupted throughout the control center as sensor readings confirmed their success. The void was disintegrating, its energy dissipating harmlessly into the cosmos. As the celebration raged around her, Sarah stepped back, her mind reeling with the implications of what they had just achieved. Humanity had not only saved itself, but had risen to become a true force in the galaxy. She gazed out at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, but a frontier filled with endless possibilities. The void had been their greatest challenge, but Sarah knew it was only the beginning. With a smile, she turned back to join the celebration. The galaxy was waiting, and humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. Quantum Leap. The galactic summit of New Alexandria buzzed with an energy unlike anything seen before in the cosmos. Representatives from 1,000 worlds converged on the newly constructed space station, its gleaming hull adorned with the symbols of both humanity and the Confederation. At the center of it all stood Sarah Chen, no longer just the director of Earth's defense, but the face of humanity's triumphant entry onto the galactic stage. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all designations," Sarah began, her voice carrying across the grand assembly hall. "A year ago, we faced extinction. Today, we stand united, having overcome a threat that nearly consumed us all." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of cheers, trills, and telepathic exultations. Sarah allowed herself a moment to bask in the victory before continuing. "But our work is far from over. The void may be gone, but its effects linger. Entire systems lie in ruin, civilizations have been displaced, and the very fabric of space-time bears scars from our desperate gambit." As she spoke, holographic displays sprang to life around the chamber, showcasing the devastation wrought by the void and the subsequent battle against it. Planets with atmospheres stripped away, stars prematurely aged, and vast spores of space where the laws of physics seemed to have been rewritten. "Which is why," Sarah continued, her voice rising with passion, "I propose the formation of the Galactic Restoration Initiative, a joint effort drawing on the strengths of all our peoples to heal the wounds inflicted upon our universe." The proposal was met with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Such an undertaking would require resources and cooperation on an unprecedented scale. But as the debate raged on, a new crisis emerged. Alarms blared throughout the station, and the holographic displays flickered to show a startling sight. A massive tear in the fabric of space-time, pulsing with otherworldly energy. "Director Chen," Dr. Elijah Ree's voice cut through the chaos. "The quantum entanglement network we used against the void, it's destabilizing. We're seeing rifts opening up across the galaxy." Sarah's mind raced. The very technology that had saved them now threatened to unravel the cosmos. "Eli, talk to me. What are we dealing with?" "It's like the universe is trying to reboot itself," Eli explained, his words tumbling out in a rush. "The rifts are gateways to other timelines, alternate realities. If we don't contain this, we could be looking at a total collapse of our dimension." As if to underscore his point, a rift opened in the center of the assembly hall. Through it, Sarah caught glimpses of impossible worlds. Earth dominated by hyper-evolved dinosaurs, a confederation ruled by silicon-based lifeforms, versions of herself leading armadas against extragalactic invaders. Panic threatened to overtake the gathered delegates, but Sarah's voice cut through the din. "Everyone, remain calm. This is not the end, it's an opportunity." Her bold declaration silenced the room. Even the rift seemed to pulse with anticipation. "Don't you see? Sarah continued, her mind alight with possibilities. We've been gifted access to the multiverse. Think of the knowledge, the technologies, the solutions to problems we haven't even encountered yet. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, who had been furiously analyzing data streams, spoke up. She's right. These rifts, they're not just tiers, they're bridges. With the right stabilization technology, we could establish permanent links between realities. The assembly hall erupted into a flurry of excitement and debate. The implications were staggering: interdimensional trade, cultural exchanges beyond imagination, the pooling of knowledge from countless alternate histories. But Sarah knew they had to act fast. The rifts were growing, threatening to merge realities in chaotic and potentially catastrophic ways. Zara, she called out to her alien friend and advisor. We need the Confederation's most advanced quantum stabilizers. Eli, Yuki, I want a task force assembled to develop a rift navigation system. And Admiral Wolf, mobilize the fleet. We may need to evacuate endangered realities. As the station transformed into a hub of frantic activity, Sarah found herself drawn to the central rift. The swirling vortex of possibility both terrified and exhilarated her. This was a new frontier, one that made their previous explorations seem insignificant by comparison. Are we really ready for this? Zara's telepathic voice echoed in her mind, tinged with awe and concern. Sarah smiled, a fire burning in her eyes. Ready or not, it's here. And I'll be damned if humanity sits this one out. Over the next weeks, New Alexandria became the nerve center of the most ambitious project in cosmic history. The Multiversal Exploration and Stabilization Team, MEST, worked around the clock, developing technologies that merged the quantum mastery of the Confederation with humanity's unique talent for thinking outside the box. Interdimensional probes were launched, bringing back data that revolutionized their understanding of reality itself. They discovered worlds where the laws of physics operated on entirely different principles, civilizations that had harnessed energies beyond comprehension, and alternate versions of Earth that ran the gamut from utopian paradise to post-apocalyptic wasteland. But with discovery came danger. Hostile entities from warlike realities attempted incursions. Paradoxes threatened to unravel the causal fabric of multiple universes. Each crisis pushed the limits of their ingenuity and cooperation. Through it all, Sarah found herself evolving, much like the technology they were developing. Her ability to bridge gaps between species, between realities, made her an invaluable leader in this new multiversal frontier. As the rifts stabilized and the first permanent interdimensional portals were established, Sarah stood before the Galactic Assembly once more. The chamber now hosted representatives not just from their universe, but from a carefully curated selection of alternate realities. My fellow beings of the multiverse, she began, her voice carrying the weight of countless worlds. We stand at a crossroads of infinite possibility. The challenges ahead are greater than anything we've faced, but so too are the opportunities. She gestured to the shimmering portals that now adorned the station. These gateways represent more than just technological achievement. They are bridges of understanding, paths to knowledge beyond our wildest dreams. Together, we will explore the deepest mysteries of existence, solve crises that plague entire realities, and forge a community that transcends the very boundaries of creation itself. As applause echoed through dimensions, Sarah allowed herself a moment of reflection. From a simple space station captain to the architect of a multiversal alliance, it was a journey she could never have imagined. But as she looked out at the assembled beings, humans standing shoulder to shoulder with aliens, alternate selves sharing knowing glances across dimensional divides, she knew that the true adventure was just beginning. The multiverse awaited, with all its wonders and terrors, and humanity, once bound to a single world, was ready to take its place as pioneers of the infinite. Echoes of infinity. The quantum crystalline spires of Neo-Earth pierce the sky, a testament to humanity's meteoric rise in the multiversal age. Sarah Chen, now bearing the title of Multiversal Liaison Prime, stood atop the highest tower, her eyes scanning the horizon where reality itself seemed to ripple and fold. 5 years had passed since the discovery of the rifts and the world, no, the multiverse, had changed beyond recognition. Earth had become a nexus point, a cosmic crossroads where beings from countless realities converged. Incoming transmission from Universe Delta 9, a holographic assistant materialized beside her. Priority Alpha. Sarah nodded, her mind interfacing seamlessly with the station's advanced AA. The face of her alternate self, battle-scared and grim, appeared before her. "We've got a situation, Prime," Delta Sarah reported. "The Chrono Devourers have breached the Epsilon containment zone. They're consuming entire timelines." Sarah's blood ran cold. The Chrono Devourers, entities of pure entropy discovered in the darkest corners of the multiverse, were perhaps the greatest threat they'd ever faced. Worse than the void, they didn't just destroy worlds, they erased entire histories from existence. "Initiate Protocol Omega," Sarah commanded, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "and alert the Tinnerkeepers. We're going to need all hands on deck for this one." As alarms blared across dimensions, Sarah made her way to the Nexus chamber, the multiversal war room at the heart of Neo-Earth. Holograms flickered to life around her, showing representatives from a dozen allied realities. Dr. Elijah Rees, now sporting cybernetic enhancements that linked him directly to the quantum mainframe, greeted her with a nod. "The Devourers have already consumed 3 branch realities. If we don't stop them soon, the cascading temporal effects could unravel the entire multiverse." "Then we hit them with everything we've got," Admiral Helena Wolf interjected, her holographic form shimmering with barely contained energy. In the years since the Void Crisis, she had undergone a radical transformation, merging with an alien symbiote to become a living weapon. "It's not that simple," cautioned Zara, that iridescent form now incorporating elements of human DNA, a symbol of the deep bond forged between their species. "The Devourers exist outside normal space-time. Conventional weapons are useless." Sarah absorbed the information, her enhanced mind processing countless strategies in microseconds. "What about Project Ouroboros?" she asked, turning to Dr. Yuki Tanaka. Yuki, her body now more machine than flesh, interfaced directly with the chamber's systems. Data streams flowed around her like a digital aura. "It's untested," she warned. "The power required to create a closed temporal loop of that magnitude, it could fracture reality itself. And if we do nothing, reality gets eaten anyway." Sarah countered. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of infinite worlds on her shoulders. "Initiate Project Ouroboros. All realities on standby for quantum energy transfer." The next hours were a blur of frantic activity. Neo-Earth became the focal point of the largest energy convergence in multiversal history. Power flowed in from countless alternate Earths, each contributing to the desperate gambit. In the depths of the Nexus chamber, a device unlike anything ever conceived slowly came to life. The Ouroboros engine, a quantum computer capable of rewriting the laws of causality itself. As the engine powered up, reality began to warp around them. Past, present, and future blurred together. Sarah saw echoes of other lives, versions of herself that had taken different paths, made different choices. Chrono Devourers approaching critical mass. Ellie's voice cut through the temporal chaos. "It's now or never." Sarah locked eyes with her team, seeing the same determination reflected back from 1,000 alternate versions of themselves. With a nod, she gave the command. "Activate the Ouroboros engine. Full power." A blinding flash engulfed the chamber. Sarah felt herself being torn apart and reassembled across infinite realities. For a moment that stretched into eternity, she was everywhere and everywhere at once. And then silence. Sarah opened her eyes to find herself back in the Nexus chamber. But something was different. The air crackled with newfound energy, and the holograms showed a multiverse transformed. "Did it work?" she asked, her voice hoarse. Yuki's eyes widened as she processed the incoming data. It's incredible. The Ouroboros engine didn't just stop the Chrono Devourers, it rewrote history across all realities. The Devourers never existed in the first place. The implications were staggering. They had effectively reset the multiverse, creating a new prime timeline where the threat had been eliminated before it began. As the team celebrated their impossible victory, Sarah felt a strange sense of déjà vu. Memories of a life not lived flickered at the edges of her consciousness, echoes of the erased timeline. We did it. Zara's thoughts resonated in her mind. But at what cost? How much have we changed? How many lives rewritten? Sarah nodded, understanding the weight of their actions. They had saved the multiverse, but in doing so, had taken on the responsibility of cosmic architects. The power to reshape reality itself was now in their hands. As the dust settled and reports flooded in from across realities, a new challenge emerged. The Ouroboros engine, in its desperate bid to save existence, had created anomalies throughout the multiverse. Pockets of alternate history, bubbles of impossible physics, and bridges to entirely new dimensions now dotted the cosmos. Looks like our work is far from over, Sarah mused, a small smile playing on her lips despite the enormity of the task ahead. She turned to her team, human, alien, and everything in between, feeling a surge of pride and determination. They had faced the void between stars, danced on the edge of oblivion, and rewritten the very fabric of reality. Whatever challenges the multiverse had in store, they would face them together. "All right, people," Sarah announced, her voice carrying the authority of someone who had reshaped existence itself. "We've got a multiverse to explore and protect. Let's make it count." As Neo-Earth hummed with renewed purpose and ships from 1,000 realities converged in the skies above, Sarah Chen, once a simple space station captain, now the guardian of infinite worlds, stepped forward into a future limited only by the bounds of imagination itself. The multiverse, vast and ever-changing, awaited their next move. And humanity, having transcended the limitations of a single reality, stood ready to write the next chapter in the cosmic story. In the infinite expanse of possibilities, one thing remained certain: the greatest adventures were yet to come.